There are moments in life where something was already happening before everything changed, and many English learners feel those moments but don't know how to express them correctly. Hello everyone and welcome back to Prime English Pod. I'm Ethan, and today we're continuing our journey into the past, but in a deeper and more human way. In our previous episode, we talked about the past simple, actions that ended, events that happened, and clear results from yesterday. Today's episode goes one step further because life doesn't always stop and start so cleanly. Today, we are talking about the past continuous, the tense we use when something was happening, when an action was in progress, and when life was unfolding before it was interrupted. This tense helps you describe scenes, emotions, and moments rather than just facts. It helps your listener step into your memory instead of just hearing a list of actions. To make this episode more real and more useful, I'm joined today by a new guest. Her name is Lily, a learner like many of you who will share natural sentences and common mistakes that happen in real daily life. Together, we'll slow everything down, look carefully at those moments, and understand why English chooses the past continuous instead of the past simple. This is not about speaking perfectly. This is about speaking clearly, naturally, and with confidence. Let's begin. Lily, let's move into real situations now. I want you to think about a moment yesterday where something was already happening, and then something else suddenly happened and changed that moment.
Yesterday evening, I sat on my bed and I checked my phone when my mother suddenly called me and asked if I was okay.
This sentence is very common among learners, and it helps us understand the heart of the past continuous. When you describe a situation that was already in progress, English needs a form that feels unfinished. The verb sit becomes was sitting, and check becomes was checking. These forms tell the listener that the action was already happening before the call interrupted it. So the sentence becomes, yesterday evening, I was sitting on my bed and I was checking my phone when my mother suddenly called me.
Yesterday evening, I was sitting on my bed and I was checking my phone when my mother suddenly called me.
Good. Notice how the listener can now imagine the moment clearly, almost like watching a short scene instead of reading a report. Let's try another example, something that happened outside the house.
Yesterday afternoon, I walked in the street and I talked to my friend when the rain started and we ran to a shop.
Here, walking and talking are background actions. They are not finished actions, they are ongoing. So, walk becomes was walking, and talk becomes was talking. The rain starting is a sudden change, so started stays in the past simple. The corrected version is, yesterday afternoon, I was walking in the street and I was talking to my friend when the rain started and we ran to a shop.
Yesterday afternoon, I was walking in the street and I was talking to my friend when the rain started and we ran to a shop.
Excellent. Past continuous creates movement, and past simple creates surprise. Now let's look at a mistake learners often make when both actions are long.
While I studied, my brother played games and shouted loudly.
The word while usually introduces two actions happening at the same time over a period. That means both verbs should be in the past continuous. Study becomes was studying, and play becomes was playing. The sentence becomes, while I was studying, my brother was playing games and shouting loudly.
While I was studying, my brother was playing games and shouting loudly.
Very natural. This tells us both actions shared the same timeline. Let's add emotion now. Tell me about a moment where you were feeling something strongly.
Last night, I felt sad while I watched old photos and I remembered many things.
Feeling sad is a state, something that can last. Watching photos is also ongoing. So feel becomes was feeling, and watch becomes was watching. Remembering stays simple because it is the mental moment that appears. The sentence becomes, last night I was feeling sad while I was watching old photos and I remembered many things.
Last night, I was feeling sad while I was watching old photos, and I remembered many things.
This is very expressive English. One last example, because this one is powerful for storytelling. Tell us about a moment at work.
Yesterday at work, I worked on my laptop when my boss spoke to me and surprised me.
Work on my laptop is not a finished action here. It is a situation. So work becomes was working. The boss speaking is the interruption, so spoke stays in the past simple. The sentence becomes, yesterday at work, I was working on my laptop when my boss spoke to me and surprised me.
Yesterday at work, I was working on my laptop when my boss spoke to me and surprised me.
Perfect. This is the real power of the past continuous. It turns memories into scenes. Before we finish today's episode, I want to say thank you to Lily for sharing these real moments and honest mistakes with us. This episode was enjoyable, thoughtful, and full of situations that many English learners experience every day. Today, we explored how the past continuous helps us describe what was happening, not just what happened. We talked about background actions, interruptions, and how English uses time to turn memories into clear scenes. Thank you to everyone who listened to Prime English Pod. Keep practicing, keep telling your stories, and remember that English becomes easier when you focus on meaning, not perfection. Follow us and join us in the next episode.